Hi, I'm Richard from Drive Green, and today I'm going to run through some of the green things we do here in the hope of inspiring other businesses to do the same. Drive Green is a specialist electric car only dealership which has grown from its humble beginnings as a sideline to my domestic green technology work to now become by far the UK's biggest specialist EV brand and dealership. In terms of our green credentials, we already work with a very green product, electric cars, but as well as this I've tried to do everything I can to make Drive Green as green a business as possible, in line with the sustainable living goals in which the business was originally founded. Recently, I've been involved in some work with the Carbon Literacy Project, whose mission it is to create greater awareness of climate change and carbon footprint reduction. It's a result of this work that I found that Drive Green is actually a very valuable case study as a business that does as much as possible to be as green as possible. And it's my work with the Carbon Literacy Project which has actually inspired me to do this video today. First of all, and most importantly, is the general approach that we've used at Drive Green to guide our business to be as green as possible. And the approach is very, very simple. You take a look at what you do, and if you can think of a greener way to do it, that's the way you do it. No room for apathy and no room with restrictions in the green budget. Quite often being green takes a lot more energy and even more money. Nonetheless, the rules are simple. If you can think of a greener way to do something, that's what you do. Switching to a green energy provider is probably the simplest of green measures for any business or household to adopt. We use Ecotricity here, as I think Ecotricity are the most sustainable and greenest of all the green energy providers, with a great reinvestment strategy. We're also right next to two of the Ecotricity turbines, so other than the power we generate here ourselves, most of our power is probably coming straight off of them. Ecotricity might not be the cheapest, but they are the greenest. Unfortunately, we don't have enough space on site for a solar PV array to power this whole business. As you might imagine, being an electric car dealership, we use an awful lot of electricity charging these cars. But whilst we don't generate all our energy from solar panels, everything we do use here is 100% renewable. We do, however, have a 4 kilowatt solar PV array that we use to power the office and charge a car. This offers a great example to our customers as to what they can do at home, and with the rising cost of electricity, it's also a very economical and sensible long-term measure for businesses and households alike. How you heat your business or your home is a very big part of your overall carbon footprint. Here we use a wood pellet boiler to provide our carbon neutral heating. Whether at work or at home, switching to a greener heating system such as a heat pump or a biomass boiler is a great step to reduce your carbon footprint. Our office building is a temporary structure built entirely out of recycled and reclaimed materials, every last scrap of it down to the nails and the light fittings. I absolutely love it, and I think it's a real triumph. Built by my artist friends locally at the famous Rockaway Park, our office building is a real achievement in carbon neutral eco-building. The metal walls, they're all made from old recycled fridge track walls. You've got reclaimed packing timbers make this beautiful wall here. The sliding doors were found at the back of a glazier's yard where they'd been made incorrectly to the wrong size and therefore unusable. The building's chassis and framework is made from old industrial metal fence posts. The outside is decorated with bits of telegraph poles, and all the windows and doors are reclaimed. Part of the building also has a green roof, which is a real fun social media talking point, promoting how we should harmonise our buildings with nature. Planting trees is a great way to offset your carbon footprint. When we built this building, I did actually plant 13 actual big trees in order to offset the cost of, say, the paint and the delivery of the building up here, even though it only had to travel 5 miles. Tree planting will remain part of what we do in order to offset anything we are struggling to remove from our business's carbon footprint. In the office, we still have the remnants of my old green technology showroom and advice centre. We have solar thermal tubes, battery storage systems and heat pumps on display for visitors to look at. We used to offer a free advice service to all our customers where we could advise them on other green technologies they could implement in their homes, as well as buying an electric car. But now the electric car side of the business has got so busy we don't have time to do that anymore. This is definitely something I'd like to revisit again in the future because I think it's very valuable. And in the meantime, we still advise customers as much as we can on other issues surrounding domestic green technologies. Spreading the word and creating awareness and educating people, I think, is one of the most important things we can all do to promote sustainable living. The building's furniture was a challenge because what actually is green furniture? Our solution was we have predominantly locally sourced second-hand furniture. The desks are upcycled from old solar panels, and most of our other furniture was made by a local carpenter out of a local tree that was felled on the site where his workshop was, and was delivered together with our building to reduce its transportation and carbon costs. I think the furniture is a good example how with a bit of thought and a bit of effort it's possible to find a greener solution, and it's a good example of applying that attention to detail to everything you do in your business to make your business greener. A compost loo, I concluded, was the green solution to our human waste on site. To be honest, it's difficult to maintain as a public loo, and it isn't particularly popular with the staff who have to use it every day, but we still do it. It is, however, probably one green step too far for most businesses. It's kind of fun and quirky and certainly memorable for our customers. It's a great post-visit talking point, I'm sure. We have a wildflower bed along the entire frontage of the site. It's good for wildlife and the bees, and it's good for giving the message over social media. As you can see, it looks much nicer in the spring. The site is decorated in timbers to suit the natural feel of the business. All the timbers used to do this have been reclaimed locally. Rather than buying new computer equipment, we repair and upgrade either my old machines or second-hand machines. This isn't just me being stingy. This is just another example of trying to identify a place where actually you can do it greener. And obviously repairing and upgrading is much greener than buying new. Anything compostable, we compost. We recycle everything, and we have sorting bins for every category to make it easy. Being a car dealership, we use lots of protective floor mats, and as I couldn't find anyone who supplied these floor mats made of recycled paper, we actually had our own ones made. Being an electric car dealership, we use lots of cables, and we use reusable cable ties rather than single-use ones. The pens we use at Drive Green are made either of recycled paper or bamboo rather than any unsustainable material. We have wooden key rings that we give to all our customers with their cars, preferring as always to use natural and sustainable products. We have this little green thought of the day calendar that lives in our customer seating area, which I think is lovely and gives a very nice green message to our customers and staff each day. Now, it's these simple little things that do actually make a difference and show a certain amount of attention to detail when it comes to being green. We use only reusable mugs and glasses here. 100% no lazy disposable items are used here at all. We have a Drive Green membership scheme. Everyone who buys a car from us gets a Drive Green membership card, and they can use this card to claim discounts at a variety of green businesses. We also promote our green partners that are part of our membership scheme across our social media channels to further help push customers towards these great green businesses. We support Greenpeace, Friends of the Earth and the World Wildlife Fund with a donation of £5 for every review we receive. A big part of what we can all do as a business is helping to educate others. In terms of educating people on sustainable living in general, we do lots across our social media channels, including writing and promoting articles, as well as doing lots face-to-face with customers where we try and help them with bits of advice on sustainable living and green technologies for the home. I'm really lucky because with Drive Green it is providing me with a very high-profile platform in which to make a bit more of a noise about sustainable living, and I urge you to take advantage of your business's social media channels and marketing reach to do exactly the same. The Carbon Literacy Project, who really have inspired me to do this video to begin with, have put together what they call their Carbon Literacy Toolkits. Now, these are sort of training presentations that you can use to make your staff more aware of climate change and carbon footprint reduction. We've incorporated this into our, why we're green and how we are green workshops that we do with our staff. And I urge you to get in touch with the Carbon Literacy Project yourself and see if you can't adopt using one of their Carbon Literacy Toolkits to educate your staff as well. We also have a foraging experience day lined up for the staff for the springtime, part of my attempt to help further connect them with nature to work alongside all our kind of being green education that we do here. We also sponsored Wicked Weather Watch to do a climate change workshop at our local primary school. This is something I'd like to do a lot more of in the new year because we all know how influential children can be and how important it is for them to learn more about sustainable living. This is another easy green thing any business can do, and I urge you all to perhaps sponsor a local green awareness campaign and help with educating the children. As well as simply doing everything you can as a business to be green, I think the next most important thing you can do is education. Be that education to your staff through kind of climate change workshops, as well as education of your consumers through pushing sustainable living through your social media channels and other marketing avenues. A big part of the carbon footprint for any business is the behaviour and transportation of its staff. At Drive Green, we've done a few things to try and encourage greener practices by all our staff. All our staff have been given a World Wildlife Fund reusable thermos bottle to bring drinks into work so as not to bring in any single-use drinks items. Our staff are strongly encouraged not to bring in single-use items into work. Whilst it's hard to enforce whilst maintaining important personal freedoms, we do, however, ask people to take any single-use plastics they bring into work home with them for recycling there. Partly this is to discourage them using single-use plastics to begin with, but also to connect them further with the waste factor that comes with single-use items. To help encourage staff to make their own lunch and reduce the single-use packaging that they use, we pay every staff member £2 a day for every lunch they bring in with no disposable packaging involved. At Drive Green, we operate an EV ownership incentive scheme to help encourage and make EV ownership more affordable to our staff. The business will pay £100 a month to anyone driving an EV to work to help them finance their electric car. We also challenge staff to come up with fresh, new ideas as to how the business can be greener and how they can be greener as individuals. The hope here is it will further connect them to the carbon neutral mission of the business. Despite doing absolutely everything we can to be as green as possible, there's still some areas where I really struggle. In the instance of these areas, I do carbon offsetting to offset the carbon cost of certain things, and I'm still, where I can, pushing to try and make these things as green as possible. The majority of our stock coming in is delivered by third-party companies who use diesel delivery vehicles. There's no obvious solution to this at the moment, I don't think, so I use carbon offsetting to hopefully counter the carbon cost of these third-party deliveries. It breaks my heart a little bit, the amount of packaging waste that we have to throw away and recycle with all the items we get delivered in. All of these things are items we need, and they're not necessarily available locally or second-hand. I would love to reduce the amount of waste that comes with all the things we order in. I am doing what I can, and we are talking to our key suppliers about ways to reduce their packaging and carbon impact of their deliveries. I hope this video has been useful in helping you with ideas and an approach to making your business greener. Good luck, and please be sure to share your ideas. Thank you ever so much for watching.